All right, today we're going to jump back into the Bitcoin price action. We might just be ranging at the same price as yesterday, but we do have some new signs in the chart, some of which are bullish, some of which are bearish. So let's go ahead and cover that today, starting off with some of the more bullish confluences, and then we'll jump into what could signal lower prices. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the 4-hour bull div we have. Simply lower those on price, higher lows on the RSI. Nice 4-hour regular bull div there. Definitely could be signaling the low is in. As I talked about in yesterday's video, I thought there's a good chance this is the low. We'll see if it actually is. I'm not a fortune teller. I can just give you the levels, and the levels have been respected very well. So let's go ahead and jump over to the chart that has all my levels, and you can see how this stuff is being respected. We had talked about wanting to hold volume on some hourly candle closes. We got that. This is the 30-minute time frame, by the way, and then we wanted to get above sweep and hold that as support. We had that. You can see pixel touch on that sweep level, and then we wanted to see this start reclaiming the rest of those liquidity levels, those range lows, and you do see a pixel perfect rejection off of this one, and now a pixel perfect rejection off of volume. So kind of at a critical point here on price. Once again, we are now rejecting this volume. Not the best sign, but not too much confirmation this is actually going to reject. I will say though, I would not be surprised if it does, right? I would not be surprised if this is actually going to end up coming a little bit lower. This is the second kind of base case right now, so we sweep all of that before heading on up, or potentially even grab CME gap. There's a big CME gap down here at around $53,000. You go over here to the CME chart, you can see this gap down here. Usually these do get filled around 90% of the time. So while I do believe price is going to launch up out of here into all-time highs before coming down relatively soon here, maybe at the end of this year, there's a chance that we go ahead and fill that now, and that could still be bullish, right? We could have a bullish correction into that CME gap. We could go all the way to 47k, and that would still be a bullish correction. Although if we did get that touch of 47k, I don't want that to be swift. I don't want to be spending a lot of time down there. And overall, the higher prices we can hold, the better structure we're going to be holding, right? We definitely want to maintain this bullish structure on Bitcoin after breaking into a new high, right? New local high. We definitely want to see that new local low. So that would be okay, but 47k sweeping the CME gap, it wouldn't be the best structural sign for Bitcoin, and it could be a sign of weakness, and maybe we don't in fact grab this liquidity, right? There's always a possibility we don't grab that liquidity and go to the bear market, but I don't want to sound too bearish in this video because my base case remains the same. We got a hidden bull div here on the daily time frame, higher lows there, lower lows there. Could be showing some absorption on our higher term time frames, but on the flip side, bulls really aren't showing a ton of strength there because we lost the daily EMA. We tried to get back above the daily EMA, rejected it, right? So we had a lot of confluences to hold this as the low, and while yes, it still could be the low, we're not showing a lot of strength right here. So I'd say this really needs to hold, right? We got the 4-hour bull div, another sweep of the sweep. Let's see if the bulls can actually step in and bring us up above volume. If bulls can show us that this can get reclaimed, then I would be anticipating that was the low and we can head on up. Order flow is showing us some good signs, right? We got another bull div here, actually 3 drives of a CVD bull div over here. So you can see higher lows on the CVD, whereas we have lower lows on price. That's not actually the cleanest bull div in the world though, because while it technically is one, if you know what this means, it essentially means that longs are opening while price is absorbing those longs. They're getting stopped out of the market though. That's why you see open interest is making lower lows with price. So essentially just a lot of people are trying to long this stuff, and that's why we keep sweeping the sweep, right? There's just too many longs in the market trying to get in right now, and I would not be surprised if we do have a bigger flush here on Bitcoin. We do see big buyers stepping in around 58,200. We see some single prints down here, so you can see single prints on the TPO profile from back in the middle of September. Within here, that could be a big level to watch, right? 58,200. If we go back to the levels chart, this is sitting just above this big volume support, and that could be held, but I would say if we get down there, probably doing the sweep. So that's kind of the big target right now, 57,500. I do think there's a good chance Bitcoin actually comes down there now, just based on how price is reacting. We had a good chance to hold it yesterday, kind of failed. kind of didn't work out there for Bitcoin. And something else that kind of failed was the Bitcoin dominance. So we see Bitcoin dominance was rejecting this range. It was looking pretty bearish. This looked like a good high, but we're launching up out of here on Bitcoin dominance. Altcoins are showing a lot of weakness right now, which isn't exactly what we want to see. But we'll see how this does play out. We don't really have too much to say on if this is truly bullish for Bitcoin dominance or if this is going to turn into another deviation back within the range. We'll just have to wait and see, but definitely not the best sign for altcoins immediately, especially when you look at something like ETH Bitcoin. You can see ETH Bitcoin breaking down, had a very bullish structure, but just wasn't able to hold. This breaking down, once again, not the best sign to see for your altcoin market. A lot of this could be influenced by the DXY continuing to show a lot of strength off the lows here. So we'll see how this does play out. We're getting to the point where we're going to find out if it's going to sweep the highs, if it's going to make a lower high, or if this is going to break out back test. So we'll see what does in fact happen over here on the DXY. That is inversely correlated with Bitcoin. So we want this to go down. We go over to the Russell. You can see we're getting a little bit of relief actually over here on the Russell, but definitely not at the biggest level of support. So we'll see if this in fact is going to hold and we can get back above point of control, but not really too much to go off of on the Russell right now. We're definitely just in the middle of a range, but showing a little bit more of a bearish structure on the local term time frame. Now we go over to the S&P 500, and this is still just showing a lot of strength right now. We're sitting above all-time highs, and we did in fact back test these all-time highs right here, wicked off of them pretty nicely, but definitely not too much confirmation over here. Just not a lot of volatility at all, just chopping sideways, but definitely showing signs here that we could be ending this consolidation period and heading on up to make another all-time high on the S&P 500. So we'll see what does in fact play out there. We definitely got to wait for these charts to kind of shape up and give us more of a sign of where they are headed, because while we might be seeing some bearish signs over here on Bitcoin, such as rejecting volume, I think it's just because there's some over exuberant longs that need to be swept out of the market before we do head on up. I believe we're going to head on up because the economic data is still good. We look at non-farm employment change that came out today. You can see it came in well above expectations, and expectations was more than our previous month. So you can see 143,000 jobs added to the non-farm unemployment. So that is a good sign to see, but we do have unemployment claims coming out tomorrow, and they do actually expect higher unemployment claims from last month as well. So we'll see if that does come out to be an expectation, or if it beats expectation. That could be a big deciding point in the market. And then of course we have unemployment rate this Friday, so that'll be the even bigger data point. We got some good economic news coming out this week. Well, it could be good, it could be bad. We'll have to see. So far it is good though, and I do think there's a good chance after the market has time to digest this data from the week, assuming the numbers are legitimate, right? They do fudge the numbers and then revise them later sometimes, so the market kind of doesn't really trust them. But nevertheless, employment is a big factor, so coming out beating expectations is definitely not a bad sign to see. And I definitely do think we're getting near the seasonal time where stuff is about to go parabolic. So sit back, we're in a bit of a consolidation period. Usually when you got these bullish months like October, the first half is bearish. That's how it was last year. We had a pretty bearish first week, and then the rest of the month was super bullish. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing here. Let's give it some time and see what the charts are going to give us going forward. But with that being said, if you do have any questions about anything I talked about today, or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also got a VIP Discord that's 25% off right now. You can just click the link down below, read more about it, decide for yourself if you think it's worth your money or not. And then also definitely check out my exchange partners down below that all offer their own perks and benefits and exclusive bonuses and rewards if you do use my referral links to sign up. So don't miss out on that. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.